MacBook, iPad, iPhone, iPod. It's pretty clear that Apple's gotten a lot of my money over the years. But I've recently come to the conclusion that their products are so fucking overrated that I just had to make a video about it.
My first recollection of Apple were those goofy candy-colored iMac computers they sold back in the late 90s. When it came to computing, my family was a Windows household all the way. By the time I had my first interaction with the user interface of an Apple computer, I hated it. Probably because it was different than what I was used to, and that tends to be why people hate things.
But then along came the iPod. One of the few things that I feel like Apple really got right. I love my 80 gig iPod, and as of last year, I just recently filled it up. I've had this thing for over 10 years now, and it's still going strong. I mean, it even still looks great because I've had it under a case for so long.
The iPod was very streamlined and sexy. Like most of Apple's products, looks mattered. And in the jungle of personal MP3 players of the day, the iPod overtook them all, and pretty soon all your friends had one.
These are not three separate devices. This is one device. And we are calling it iPhone.
Then along came the iPhone. Apple had yet again seduced me with its unheard of new features for a cell phone. It was an iPod. It finally brought the real internet to mobile phones instead of that poor man's version of the internet that were on most phones of the day. And you could seamlessly switch between all of them at that. But damn, that was expensive. The only people who had iPhones when they first came out were snobs and techies, but I wanted one. And I eventually got one. 8 years after they had been out on the market.
I loved the first iPhone that I got, but by the time I finally got one, other companies had caught up and surpassed Apple in various ways.
Samsung's Android operating system was quickly becoming superior to Apple's iOS system. And then came the iPads. Oh, sweet Jesus, the iPads. I feel like Apple really kickstarted the tablet craze, and yes, I eventually got one. My final Apple purchase was a MacBook.
The Apple MacBook is easily one of the most overrated pieces of Apple technology out there. People don't buy MacBooks for their functionality. They buy them to make a fashion statement. You're paying thousands of extra dollars to be able to throw up that glowing Apple whenever you're at a Starbucks or DJing at some douchebag club. Like, oh, look at me, I take myself more seriously as a human being than you do because I have the little fucking glowing Apple logo thingy. Yeah.
I initially purchased a MacBook because I was trying to emulate one of my favorite YouTubers at the time. He stated that he edited on a MacBook computer using Final Cut, and then a few other big YouTubers said they use the same. So because of peer pressure, I do all my editing on a MacBook as well.
I paid $2,500 for this MacBook laptop. It has two USB ports. Ooh, it's got a whopping 251 gigabytes internal memory. And to top all that off, no fucking CD drive. Why would you not include that if I'm paying almost $3,000 for a fucking basic laptop?
In the past few years, Apple has had this bizarre business model of jumping the gun and future-proofing their devices by leaving out features everyone still uses. Oh, you want to watch movies? Play some old PC games? Rip a CD to iTunes, or install CD-based software on your laptop. Well, too fucking bad. Oh, you want to use wired headphones on your iPhone? Silly fool. Wired headphones are so 2005.
No, everybody still uses wired headphones. People still use CDs and DVDs. You could have included it on my laptop.
Apparently, internal memory comes at a premium for the Apple Corporation because unless you want to pay hundreds of dollars or get stuck with a high monthly bill, most iPhones come with 32 gigs standard, which you will fill up in a couple of months. How do they expect you to get around this problem? Well, I'll tell you how. The fucking iCloud. This is basically a remote database that's located God knows where that takes all your photos, contacts, app data, etc. and stores it just in case you lose your phone, it breaks, or it's stolen. And that's where they get you because I decided I didn't want to fuck with Apple anymore. So a few months ago, I purchased a Samsung Galaxy S7. Well, upon starting the phone up, I realized I would have to manually enter all of my contacts, re-download all of my apps, somehow transfer all of my photos. This was gonna be a huge hassle. I realized that if I just continue to stick with Apple, I can merge all my data over to the new iPhone instantly. So since the iCloud is holding all of my information hostage, I am stuck with Apple for the foreseeable future. Plus, honestly, that S7 I purchased was getting really, really hot. I guess nobody's perfect.
There's a certain superiority that Apple users have. I personally am stuck on the island of Apple because I decided to go with them a long time ago. All my shit's in the cloud. I don't feel like starting over again. I bought into the hype and I am not impressed. Now these all sound like first world problems, and they are. Trust me, I am so thankful for the fact that I have a separate laptop that I can edit videos on. I'm so thankful to have a cell phone and an iPod and all these things, all this shit that honestly I don't need, but I have it. So it's not like I'm complaining about all this technology I have. I'm just stating my opinions. Now, if I could go back and do it differently, I would. I probably would have went with an Android phone. Definitely would have taken that 2500 and bought a powerhouse editing laptop that would have been so much more powerful than this. Just because the angry video game nerd uses a MacBook to edit his videos on doesn't mean that if I get one, I'm automatically going to gain the same amount of subscribers that he has. I guess I just wanted to have the same technological edge as everybody else on YouTube when I first started making videos, so technology wouldn't be an excuse as to why I wasn't making great content. I now know that I'm not making great content because I'm just not very good at making YouTube videos. Nobody has ever even been able to give me a compelling argument about why an Apple Mac is superior over a Windows PC. I've yet to hear one, a compelling one I mean, not you've already drank the Kool-Aid of Apple so you're going to just be a fanboy of anything they put out. I think anything that Apple does you can get a superior build of for a Windows PC. It's just more customizable. See, that's another thing with Apple. Everything you get with an Apple device, it's locked into the device. There's no taking it off and adding more memory or modifying it. You know, you can't open the bastard up and add memory or add RAM it's like what you get is what you get, and it's closed up and sealed up and that's it. You know, that's another thing I don't really like about their product. So basically my end statement is Apple equals hype. Hype is what they sell, and if that's important to you, stick with Apple because that's about all you're getting for that extra money that you're paying. I hope you enjoyed this video. Oh yeah, there's these annoying things now because YouTube's new system, their annotations are gone. So I have to sit here. Well, I guess I don't have to sit here. I could have put up another video or some shit. I don't know. Why am I still here? Why are you still here? I guess we will stop that right now.